Yo, what's going on guys? This is your boy Yamanaka's Poison here, just me, myself and I, back again and making another video on actually how to get better at Naruto Storm Revolution, or any Naruto Storm game of your choice, really. This can pretty much go for any game, what I'm about to tell you, really. Now you're probably clicking on the video thinking, oh, this is going to teach me to get better, okay, I'm ready. Maybe at the end of this video my skills are going to be like, you know, better tenfold. Not quite. But, you know, if you actually take in the advice that I give, it helps a lot, because it actually explains why I'm so good. And, you know, I've had people come up to me saying, hey, I need you to train me to help get better, and I help train them, but they're not quite, you know, there's still a lot of things they're missing out, and I'm actually not a really good teacher. I've had many people ask me to tell them and teach them things and give them tips, and I'm not really good at that. I'm not really good at teaching, so I just got to try and express what I know through this video, basically through this commentary. What you're watching right now is me doing a ranked match commentary? Ranked match gameplay versus some people. I do lose a couple, and I do one. I think I lose like one, but yeah, I've won a few and I've lost one as well. You know, just to show that, you know, you don't win every match. You know, you do lose a few. So anyway, let's get started with the commentary. So tips on getting better. A lot of things that I see in this Naruto community is that a lot of people think they're almost like better than everyone else, and then when someone defeats them they get really mad or come up to excuses as to why they've lost, and they still continue to think that they're like, you know, the big shit. I've had this on many occasions with many different people. I go into lobbies, people are with their friends, and you know, they get mad that they lost and they start coming up with excuses saying, oh, you ran too much, oh, you're button mashing too much, oh, you're doing this too much. So basically, the way to get around that and to get better is to stop bitching about it, really, and just get over it. See, Naruto isn't a fair game, and for people who are trying to limit themselves by not button mashing as much, or not, you know, running as much, or not doing this, that, and the other so much, you know, you can't just limit yourself on a certain thing because you think it's cheap. You can't play a certain style or have someone play that certain style because you think it's cheap. Naruto is not a fair game, okay? Naruto is far from a fair game, okay? CC2 is just... they've made this game so anyone can play however they want, you know? Like, some people think you should only play with one support. Well, there's the 2 support slots for a reason, because, you know, it's there to be tried out. You can't just limit, you know, you can't just complain at a mechanic. You're basically choosing something out of the game and saying, oh, that's cheap. I don't like that. You can't use that. You have to play how I play, so I have more chance of winning against you, because I can't win when you're using that, because I suck. That's pretty much what you're saying. That is almost, I swear, every legit, well, quote-unquote legit, I'm gonna call them limited players. There are most limited players that I know, they say things like that, and it's really, really annoying. You know, and I don't really see the point in playing limited. When you're playing limited, you're limiting yourselves of certain things. So let's take for an example, one limited player likes to limit himself from using the counter, or he likes to limit himself from 2 supports, okay? So he doesn't like countering, he doesn't like 2 supports. So this guy is going to only choose 1 support and not counter. He's still going to button mash, run away, and choose any character he wishes, okay? And then there's going to be another limited player who also doesn't like the counter, but he thinks 2 supports is okay. However, he thinks that some characters shouldn't be allowed, and he disagrees with running away. So when they're fighting and they come up with those, you know, with those battles, they're obviously gonna have some conflict, because, you know, one of them is thinking it's okay to run away, while the other is like thinking it's okay to have 2 supports, and you know, obviously the other person doesn't like that, and you can't please anyone. Even the limited players are getting mad at each other because they don't like the way each other are fighting. Where if you're playing meta, basically just playing however you want, using every single asset of the game right here, like this guy, I'm guessing he's limiting himself a little bit. He's decided to use 1 support, but maybe that's his fighting style. Actually, in his fight, he does counter me a couple of times, so you know he's a good player. You know he doesn't suck. Where I, on the other hand, using 10-10 with 2 supports. And I did try to counter a couple of times, I think, but I fucked it up because my countering sucks. But anyway, that's basically what I'm trying to get at. The reason people suck is because they're complaining at mechanics in the game that they're not using. The good players are using all of the mechanics and they're doing really well with it. If you're going to use one of the mechanics and learn how to get around shit by using it yourself, you're guaranteed to get better. So it's time to stop complaining about countering, running away, or OP teams, because that shit's going to be used in Storm 4, okay? You're going to see a lot more counters in Storm 4 maybe. You're going to see a lot of crazy ass teams, okay? With the new Madara, the new Obito, their movesets, you know, there's going to be some crazy ass shit going on. People are going to find some crazy ass things to do with the team switching mechanic, which is going to get off a lot of damage depending on who the characters are, okay? I know this for a fact, you know, me being a very good Storm player, I can see it coming, okay? I can actually see this coming. There's going to be a lot of good strategies coming out in Storm 4. I know a lot of pro players. I'm pretty sure they have a lot of decent ideas already. So just wait until the game comes out and you'll see what I mean. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say there. It's just don't complain about mechanics and don't complain about what people are doing. The more you complain and get salty about something, the worse you're going to get and you're never going to improve. Because you're not learning from the mistakes. You're just sitting there, you're bitching and whining, and it is not going to get you anywhere. Now you could have an argument towards this, but Mitch, you know, Mifune with like drive type, like Tamari no Tsukata is too overpowered. I'm pretty sure there are ways to get around that, you know, there actually are. I've defeated people using that way, you know. You can use any way to win. You know, if you want, you could use Conan, pick like the Ninja War stage, have her in awakening mode, get a bit of damage off, then just run. Or you can do Minato and run, you know, just keep throwing his shuriken in awakening type. That actually stops him from chakra dashing, and you've pretty much won if you're keeping it at a long distance. There's so many strategies and ways to win. People are just too lazy to think about it. That's basically what I'm just saying in this video, you know. This is how you get better. To get better, you do not complain about any of the mechanics. You don't complain about anything. Okay, maybe, I mean, I guess it is in our nature. It's a human characteristic saying, oh, you know, I lost because of this, or I lost because of that, or I lost because he did this. Okay, that is a normal characteristic, but instead of like holding it against him forever and using that excuse as to why he lost, try and learn from it, you know, learn. Like, okay, so you see I just lost that match against that guy using Sasuke, right? He used Sasuke against me and I was using 10-10. Now, obviously, I'm probably going to watch this back a couple of times and wonder to myself, okay, why did I lose that? What was I doing wrong? Because actually, I've been using 10-10 a lot recently, and I've been kicking ass with her, dude, like, for real. Oh my god, I've been doing so well with her. But anyways, just think about that to yourself, you know, think, why did I lose? What can I do to get around it? And I swear to god, if you take that into consideration and then start coming up with some strategies, start coming up with some ideas, some plans to get around it, you're really going to do well for yourself, I promise you. Okay, so also what I want to talk about, I think here I don't find any good ranked matches, so I'm going to skip it to the player match. Another way to get better, so, okay, so I've already said one way. One way is to not complain about mechanics, because that is a good way to keep sucking at the game. You'll never go anywhere, your skills won't improve, you're not learning anything. Done, okay? So another way to get good at the game is to take time and consideration to watch your opponent carefully during the fight, and to take a lot of big notice towards the mechanics of the game. Okay, because I notice that when I'm fighting people, I actually do, I know a lot about the mechanics. I know how to manipulate someone's guard when they're in the air, you know, I've made a tutorial about it and I use it so many times in the video, in my fights. People get really confused as to how I'm, you know, switching off their guard all of a sudden. You know, they're saying, oh, I was subbing, or, oh, I was guarding. And I'm like, well, you weren't, because I was stopping you from doing that. And they're like, you didn't do shit. I'm like, actually, yes, I did. So, you need to learn. What I'm saying is that right here, you need to learn the mechanics. Now, I have made a tutorial video on guard manipulation. I'll be on my channel somewhere. You know, be sure to go down and check that out. But because I'm not gonna bother going for a tutorial. But you know, like yesterday, I had it where I was using reanimated Tobirama and reanimated 4th Kazekage in the team together with something else. And the guy who double jumped in the air as I used as the Kazekage support. Now his Kazekage support, his golden sand shower or whatever the fuck it's called, it basically rains down a bunch of like needles and like, you know, sharp bits or whatever at the opponent. Now that hit his guard because he was guarding in the air. Now because of that, his guard is now taken away. His guard is now manipulated. And because of this, I did a jutsu with Tobirama. I did his water wall. And because of that, he got hit by the water wall because his guard was manipulated. And then when that happened, I won the match. And he said, wow, that's bullshit. How did that even happen? I said, I manipulated your guard. And he said, no, you didn't. That was just CC2 being bullshit. And I said, nope, it's actually your guard being manipulated. You can check out my YouTube video and you will see that I am correct. He then went to go check the YouTube video and looked at it, and he learned something new. See, it's really easy to learn something new, okay? I taught him about guard manipulation. Whether he's going to use it in his matches, I don't know. He might find it too complicated. I mean, considering he's never used it before, I doubt he will. But, you know, it's simple as that. And another way to get better is to teach people things and to learn things from other people. Now, people seem to have, like, listening problems, I swear, because when someone thinks they're better than you and you try to give them advice, they feel like, you know, they feel like belittled, or they feel like slightly like, you know, ticked off by it. They're like, oh, why is this noob giving me advice? You know, I didn't need to take advice from this guy. Who the hell does he think he is? And that shouldn't have to be the case, you know. If you watch Don't Use to Fear's videos, you will say that many times that this community is a community about learning, you know. Naruto is all about learning. I think he says it's like communal learning or something like that, you know. It's all about learning from each other, you know. And all the time I'm watching, like, you know, I'm watching videos online of people fighting, and I'm learning about how they play, how I can adapt it to my playstyle, and then I come up with my own strategies on my own, you know. I like to change it up a lot, you know. I like to use different characters from long range to short, and use all these different strategies to mix up my playstyle and become a better storm player myself. And it works really well for myself, and I like to learn off of other people. You know, I like to learn off of other pro players who are in like these clans at the moment. I'm not going to say any names, but I've learned a lot from pro people. And you know, I've actually taught quite a few people a few things myself. You know, certain combo cancels, certain, you know, button locks or guard manipulations, you know, and I have the tutorials on my channels, and I've had people message me thanking me about those, and I said, you know, it's no problem, you know, it's the least I could do for this community, considering it's so dead at the moment. You know, I just want it to be, you know, learning new things, and just by learning like new mechanics and, you know, new things about the game, you know, everyone's learning something, and that means everyone's getting stronger, and then we can have, you know, more challenging and more interesting fights in the community, and more and new, you know, stronger and interesting people. And that's what I want out of the community. I want everyone to have a great time, not everyone complaining about the game because, you know, they're not having a good time because of some certain bullshit. And that relates to what I said earlier, you just have to get around it and learn off of new people. So taking advice off of other people is also a good thing to do. If you take advice off of other people, you're guaranteed to learn some new things, adapt it to your own playstyle, and it will really help. So, you know, that's pretty much like what I can say for getting better. That's just the basics. I do have some more in-depth tips or whatever on getting better, you know, which kind of, you know, goes in on the game's mechanics itself. So this is kind of talking about like, you know, what to do during battles, you know, just basic things and basic mechanics to use, and what to do what and when to do it, and when not to do certain things during battles to make sure that you do get the win. I might make a video on that some other time, I'm not sure, but this is just a basic video, basically explaining to you how to, you know, how to stop, like, how to, you know, expand your skill level in the game, you know, to expand how well you can do in battles, because, you know, it kind of gets tiring for me, for people to say that they're going to beat me someday, and they never really do it because they're too busy sitting there complaining, and they're just not getting around things, you know. You need to get over it, maybe use it yourself. Because I remember when I used to play Limited, I played Limited for such a while, and I did get me wrong, I was doing really well. My, you know, my close combat taijutsu skills were good. However, my long range skills weren't as good, and obviously I wasn't very good at countering, so when I did start playing, you know, my countering wasn't good either, and yeah. But anyway, that's basically all I wanted to tell you for the video. That's basically all I wanted to tell you. It's just those basic things, you know, just take that into mind, and I guarantee you, you will do better in the game. Anyway, this is your boy Yamanaka's Poison. Sayonara.